Hello, everyone. It's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group. As usual, with my co-host Abe Safa, also with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and we want to just share with you what we've discovered, the data, the numbers, tell you a little bit about the market over the last week, in hopes that we can fulfill our mission, which is to empower you all with the information necessary to make good real estate decisions. So, Abe, thank you again for being with me.
Hey, Greg, pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Pleasure
I'm
to be
making
here
some
with you
quick
also.
notes here. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Well, I know you and I have been keeping up. I know we're keeping busy. The market is very active. It's definitely a squirrely market, and I think we're going to talk about that. But for all of you out there that are consistently watching, thank you for the feedback that you've been giving us. We appreciate those emails every once in a while where you say, "Hey, thanks for the information." So we do, appreciate the comments, and also welcome all the questions. And as you know, that we're available to help you all out if you have any questions, whether you're thinking about buying or selling. That's a moot point. We just hope that if we help you out now, then maybe in the future you'll lean on us to help you. So, Abe, I tell you, I think last time we talked about traffic was down across the country on websites. Leads are down across the country on websites. Showings were down, at least last week when we reported. But today we want to talk about I think it's called a sentiment report, and you'll give us the proper terminology. But I always kind of look at this as a report that kind of shares with that tells us what the level of confidence is in buyers and sellers in terms of how's the market doing transactions. So why don't you just share those numbers with us, and then you and I can kind of talk a little bit more about what they mean.
Yeah, Greg. So it's called the Fannie Mae Home Purchase Sentiment Index. So it's an index that they come out with every single month. And then July numbers just came out. So basically what this index is, sentiment index, is it's pretty much a pulse of the real estate market. They do they survey buyers and sellers, how they feel about the current market and where the near future is going to be when it comes to the current market. Mm-hmm. And the July numbers just came out. That number was 62.8. Okay, just to give you an idea, that number's down 13 points for the year so far. Now the 62.8, a lot of people might not know what that means, so I'll give you a little bit of context. That's the lowest number that index has been since 2011. So the confidence out there is not as strong as we'd like for it to be. And it kind of makes sense. You and I talking to buyers and sellers all the time. There's a lot of confusion out there. To really drill down on this sentiment report, I'll give you a couple of other stats that
before you give those, can I give a little bit more narrative? Try to make sure the audience understands. So I think what Abe was just saying a moment ago, where confidence seems to be a little bit less. An example of sellers having a lot of confidence would be this. Last year, or even 5 months ago, we would get a call from a seller, a potential seller, and the seller would say, "Hey, look, I see the prices have really increased. My neighbor sold for like a crazy number. If you can get me that number, I'm going to sell. We can get you that number. Okay, let's do it." That's when that confidence level, that percent was higher, that was what the conversation was. Now we're getting calls from sellers. "Hey, look, I know the market's changed. We probably can't get what we want. But do you think that it's still okay to sell? I mean, can we still get a decent price?" That's the conversation we're having right now. So Abe and I can tell you, in the physical world, we can tell you that is how the conversations have changed. So this data that and this report that Abe is sharing with us, that gives you the data that supports what we're actually experiencing in the field. But I wanted to give you the contrast. An example on the buyer side was 6 months ago, the buyers would call us, "Hey, do you know of any new listings? I'm willing to pay over full price. I just need to get a home." Their confidence level was really high of the market because they felt like they could pay full price it was going to go up that next month anyway. So it wasn't like they were hurting themselves. Today, they're calling us and saying, hey, we have plenty of time. We don't have to buy. We think the prices are going to go down, so we may just wait. That's what it looks like when they don't have a lot of confidence in the market. So when Abe's giving you numbers, just understand that's what it really looks like in communication. Abe, I really apologize for interrupting you, but I wanted to share.
That was perfect because that's exactly what the conversations sound like on the front lines.
Okay, good.
That's exactly what buyers and sellers are saying right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you break down that sentiment, to kind of give you an idea what it really means when it comes to buyers and sellers, only 17% of buyers feel like it's a good time to buy right now. Only 17%. So of all the buyers that they're being asked to survey, only 17% feel like it's a good time to buy. Okay, now was July numbers. In June, the number was 20%. And in May, it was even higher. I can't remember what the number was, but it was higher than 20%. So month after month, that confidence is really shrinking when it comes to buyers and their confidence in the market right now and feeling like it's a good time to buy. Now, 76% actually went as far as to say as it's a bad time to buy. So 76% of buyers out there said that this is not a good time to buy. This is a bad time to buy, up from 75% in June. So only 17 think it's a good time to buy. 76 think it's a bad time to buy. And that leaves another 7% somewhere in the middle, like, okay, well, we just don't know. We're kind of up in the air. So that's what it looks like on the buyer side. So when we talked last week about, roughly 40% of the buyer demand just kind of disappeared, this kind of explains it. This shows that, look, they just don't trust the market right now in buying. A lot of them feel like that they'd be buying too high right now. Now on the seller side, only 67% of sellers feel like it's a good time to buy. To sell, sorry. When in May, that number was 76%. So when you talked about, sellers now all of a sudden saying, man, I really think I missed the boat. I think it's too late to sell. There's a little bit of truth to that. They didn't miss the boat. It's still a good time to sell because relatively speaking, inventory is still low. It's just a lot of the buyers disappeared.
They missed the peak. They missed
the peak. Yeah.
But and what's very interesting about that comment, they missed the peak, is no one knows when they've missed the peak until it's already started to go down.
Yeah.
No one can ever predict where the peak is. But if you look at where we are compared to where we were in a normal market, people that are selling today are still getting extraordinary values for their property. High prices for their property.
No question. And inventory is still low. Like housing inventory right now, single family homes, it's up to a 2-month supply, right? But 2.5 months ago it was a 1-month supply. So it's doubled in two or 3 months. It's up 43% relative to what it was in August of 2021. So yes, there's more inventory on the market. Okay, less buyers out there. So it kind of feels like, hey, we're in a slump right now is what the market really feels like. Things are a little bit soft is really pretty much what it feels like on the front lines.
Yeah, got it.
And then the other number to look at is new listings that hit the market. You would think that there'll be a flurry of sellers hitting the market right now because prices are still high. But, actually new listings for single family homes in July was down 3.8% compared to last year. So it's that weird market right now where inventory is not like skyrocketing, but it's going up slowly, but at the same time, buyer demand is going down.
Yeah. And, maybe I can give a little bit of perspective, and I guess this is opinion, but my perspective on the weirdness of the market is that we've got a buyer in the market who is very cautious because they think the market could go down. And you got a seller who's still disappointed that they missed the peak. And while they're getting over their emotions of missing the peak, they're actually doing nothing. At the meantime, the buyer is thinking the property's going to go down. So the buyer waits and does nothing. And then eventually inventory just kind of accumulates. One person sells at a low price, sets a new comp. And then all those people that are disappointed they missed the peak, they start fearing that they're going to lose value And so they put their property on the market.
Yeah.
Typically how this kind of works. I've been through multiple cycles, and it's typically how it works. And I always say, look, if the buyers are lacking confidence, then that tells me they're getting tight with their money, and eventually that could show up in a decrease in price. So if I'm a seller that wants to sell in the next, say, 6 months, and I'm hearing that the buyer's confidence is going down, I'm actually a seller right now. Because if that buyer sentiment, like we're going to see, you can see prices fluctuation with buyer sentiment. Right. As the buyers get less confident, then they end up waiting, inventory accumulates, prices come down. That's typically what happens. But the good thing is we bring you this data early before it's happening. It's up to you to decide whether or not history repeats itself, and will this data mean this time, or is it not going to mean it this time, even though historically it always means it goes in those directions. So, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do get a little concerned if I'm a seller and buyers are losing confidence. That just means they stay put and don't do anything.
No question. Something has to give. So either prices have to come down some, or interest rates have to come down and make homes more affordable. And it doesn't look like interest rates are coming down at least anytime soon, until we can get inflation under control.
Yeah, I've always said in a crazy way, in my experience, is it seems like the buyers seem to kind of like dictate it a lot, because the buyers have the wallet. And see, when the market was really going up, who was really dictating it? To me, it was the buyer. They opened up their wallet and they were just doing this with their money. It's like I'll spend it on anything. And that drove prices up. And now they're taking that wallet and they're putting it back in their back pocket. And when they pull it back out, they don't give as much away. And so, to me, it's kind of one of those standoffs where who makes the first move, and the buyers, they will just wait it out. Typically, most buyers are living somewhere, so they don't have to actually move. Whether or not they're renting, they're living somewhere. And so they'll just stay put.
Yeah, there's always going to be a percentage of people that have to transact. You have to sell, you have to buy, you're making a move. But yeah, the people that don't have to seem like they're sitting on the sidelines right now.
Got it. Yeah. Pendings and everything else fairly strong. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff is flat right now, right?
It really hasn't changed much. It's kind of been flat. We are seeing more and more homes and condos fail to sell and come off the market as an expired listing or withdrawn listing. For a while there was none of that. Everything that hit the market was selling, but now we're starting to see an increase in that.
Yeah.
So not everything is selling.
Okay. Well, good. Well, hey, I think that's about a wrap for today with the information. So for those of you out there, thank you so much for continuing to tune in to the Myrtle Beach Real Estate TV channel. And please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So when we do this on a weekly basis, if you happen to miss it in your Facebook feed, or you have to miss going back to back to the YouTube channel, you will push you a little notification that just say, hey, there's a new episode out, and you can watch it, whenever it's convenient for you. Abe, thank you so much. There's our numbers at the bottom of the screen right there. If we can help you, please let us know.
Thank you all for watching. Yeah.